How's it going, guys? It is Luke here, and we're going to be doing some live PO. I need to quickly pick a lead because this guy's been waiting forever. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. So I'm going to leave a run. Basically, today's video, what I was going to do was kind of give you guys a live lesson and just basically, see if you guys can pick something up. So I'm not going to be putting in too much effort. I'm just out with a coffee, but maybe you guys can learn something. So let's have a look at his team. First off, I'm leading with a Rotom, so we're going to look to see if he has any counters. And by counters, I mean things that I literally cannot touch, like a Lantern is a counter, or a Gastrodon is a counter, those kind of things. Now, other things check this thing, and that's different. So Whimsicott is a check, but it's not a counter, so he doesn't have anything to counter me, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Volt Switch here. As he may, actually he leads out with a Zoroark right there. I actually assume that was a Gengar. Good play, good play. So I'm just going to go out to something that can outspeed this thing. I don't want to go out to Scizor and bluff the BP and U-turn, because it is quite risky, because they do normally carry the fire type moves. So what I'm actually going to do is go out to my Scarf Terrakion, and I'm free to basically go for the close combat. However, he does have a Gengar, so what I'm going to do is actually go for the Stone Edge here. As he stays in, I'm able to take it out. I know it's risky going for the Stone Edge because it does carry Focus Blast, but hey, you gotta be careful. If that Gengar had come in, I'd have been forced to switch, and if it was sub-disable, that could have been a problem. So Conkeldeo is in here now. Now, obviously, they carry the Ice Punch these days, so Gliscor is not as viable a switch in as it was, and this team doesn't really deal with this thing too well. But on the off chance he wants to go ahead and go for the Bulk Up, I'm probably gonna end up switching in Gliscor anyway, and he can take that out because look at his team. Gliscor is not really needed that much, and my backup plan here is to just go into Keldeo, who I know can take a +1 Mach Punch, and I can just take it out with a Hydro Pump. So I'm just going to start hitting this thing with EQs. I really don't mind. See, it's a good 20%, and he does carry the Ice Punch. That's not a problem. And he's not carrying lefties, so I can just go into Keldeo now, and hopefully if I hit my Hydro Pump, this should take it out, because I am Choice Specs, 120 base, and obviously it's max special attack and all that stuff. And there you go, I take the Mach Punch with relative ease, and I'm able to take it out. So, I had to fodder Gliscor, which sucked. Really, anything could have gone in place of Gliscor right there, but the reason why I bring it in is because, he may not have carried the Ice Punch. So, anyway, right here, I need to switch. So, let's have a look at my choices down here. I need to switch because A, he could have T-Bolt, that's really the main reason, and B, I can't touch it anyway, not while I'm locked in. Well, I can't touch it at all. So I can't really switch into Terrakion for obvious reasons. T-Tar could switch in, but if he Hydro Pumps, that'll be more likely doing over 50%. Rotom, I don't really want to switch it in, because I kind of want it around for his team. And Scizor, if he gets the burn, if he carries Scald, that's not going to be too good either. So I'm actually going to switch in Rotom, even though I don't want to. It's probably my best play at this point, so I'm going to go to that. He reveals the Thunderbolt. That's nice. Now I know that he packs that. I'm able to play around that in the future, but I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch here in case he wants to switch. Not that he would. He's just going to kill me off. That's absolutely fine. Now, I'm not seeing an item here from this Starmie. He could still have lefties because he's still at 100%. So what I'm going to do now is actually switch in to my Scizor, I think. I want to see if he packs a Scald or not, and if he does, it's going to suck. He packs a Surf though, that's fine. I can take the Surf. I take a lot of damage, but I do take out his Spinner, so that doesn't really matter too much. Now, before I switch, I need to be aware. If I switch something in, what is that going to bring in on his team? If I bring in the Tyranitar, it could be the Gengar. If I bring in the T-Tar, he could also bring in the Metagross or the Whimsicott, and I don't really know if I want that. However, I do pack the Flamethrower, so I'm going to go into my T-Type, take the opportunity to get on my rocks, depending on what he decides to bring out now. I'm also going to drink some of my coffee. Okay, so he's on Balloon, so that's most likely why I brought it in. I'm not going to actually set up Stealth Rocks right now. It's more important actually looking at his team here. If he'd had like a Volcarona or something, I probably would set up rocks. But because I don't, I'm just going to go for a Flamethrower, or because he doesn't, sorry, I'm just going to go for that Flamethrower. You can see he's actually going to attack me. I thought he was going to be like an Agilagross, but because he's not, or he hasn't revealed it yet, I'm going to set up some Stealth Rocks. Unfortunately, he's going to take me out with the Hammer Arm. That's fine, that's fine. I don't really mind risking T-Tar to get the rocks up, it doesn't really matter too much, as his Balloon is now broken, so I have a choice to go out into Keldeo and outspeed it, or Terrakion. But he might have the bullet punch, so for that reason I'm going to go back to Keldeo and not Terrakion, because Terrakion does not want to take that. And you can see by his team I'm actually free to go straight for the Hydro Pump now, or the Secret Sword actually, no, because he's got the Gengar, so I can still go for the Hydro Pump. That's going to take that out. He can go into Gengar now, and that will outspeed me, and he can kill me off with a Psychic, and unfortunately I don't have my Tyranitar around to be able to be immune to that. He knows that. He's going to go out to his Gengar. He's most likely going to predict my switch as well. And if I go out to Scizor and he bullet punches, if I go out to Scizor and bullet punch and he disables, I'm going to be in big trouble. So what I'm actually going to do here now, seeing as his last is, I think this is, no, he's got one more, which is the Whimsicott. I'm actually going to stay in here and fodder the Keldeo just in case he subs. But he decides to just go for the Energy Ball. That's absolutely fine. I'm not really worried too much about that. So now I'm going to go into Scizor. And I can just basically lock myself into Bullet Punch, see what he wants to do. If he stays in, he'll probably die. If he switches, then, you know, it's going to get to it KO'd unless he packs a Willow, which I don't even know if it can get. I don't really play with those kind of pokes, but I'm just going to go for the Bullet Punch. I just want to see what it does. 54%, not bad. He probably set up sub. Okay, he kills me off with a Hidden Power Fire. I don't know, that's not too bad anyway. I can just go out into Terrakion now. Obviously, I am Choice Scarfed, and this thing is Grass type, so I'm free to go for the close combat. And he misses the Stun Spore, which is unfortunate. But hey, I end up killing him off anyway. So that's pretty decent right there. Alright, my coffee's going cold. That's not cool. Alright, let's get one more for you guys. I use the same team so that you guys can have a look. And whoopsie daisy. That's okay. He quit. Alright. Let's get another one. Alright. I don't know why PO does that. It's really annoying. Let's put this back up here for you guys if my mouse would stay still. I don't know. It's not perfect. Alright, so he's got a Terrakion on the lead spot. His team's slightly similar to mine, I guess. I do want to stay away from this Terrakion. This is not good. And see, a lot of things on his team actually get close combated. None of these are viable switch-ins other than Landorus and Dragonite. So I'm actually going to lead with mine and see if he's got them balls. I highly doubt he's running Jolly Choice Scarf. You don't see it too often. I'm actually going to go straight for the close combat. There's no reason not to. I could break the multi-scale on his Dragonite. I could switch to something. So I'm just going to go for it. As he takes forever to pick a move. That's cool. Hi. If you guys are wondering what the name is about, it's actually, oh legit, it's actually, oh wow, he actually, wow. Okay, that's kind of bad. I really thought he would predict my switch, because there's no real, like, what I did there really wasn't a good play, because obviously he can't take me out with the Power Whip or Gyro Ball. But the reason why I did it is because really he should expect me to switch. But it was a stupid play on my part nonetheless, so you know, I guess he can have that. So I need to see, this is that set, so I need to see if he has anything to wall me, which he kind of does actually. He has the Landorus still, so I'm going to need to switch. I don't think he has a spinner on his team, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rocks up for Dragonite now. If he gets a few hazards up, it doesn't really matter too much in the long run. My team's not like uberly weak to hazards really, so I can afford for him to get up a layer of spikes or something, so it's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to finish off my coffee, guys. That was a really good coffee. Carte noir. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see what he wants to do. If I was in his position, I'd probably set up some hazards, because looking at my team, I have, you know, weak to spikes, the Scizor, the Keldeo, the Terrakion, which is now dead, and the T-Tar, I guess, but T-Tar's kind of just there to bring it in, get up rocks, and, you know, then it dies. The reason why, by the way, I run Flamethrower and Ice Beam, I run Flamethrower for Therathorn, because it does 2-hit KO. Even on specially defensive sets, and the reason why I run Ice Beam is because I like to predict Donphan switch-ins and Landorus switch-ins, because some people do actually switch in Landorus to T-Tar, and you know, you just Ice Beam them and it's freaking hilarious. So here, I'm not sure what he's predicting. I guess now that I've got on my rocks, he was going to assume that I was going to attack him and that I may be packing that. So that's a fair enough play on his part. Right here, he can either choose to go for the Hydro Pump, or he can choose to Volt Switch, predicting my switch. However, I do have a Gliscor, so he is most likely just to go straight for that Hydro Pump, and for that reason, I'm going to stay in. There's really nothing on my team that wants to take that, so I'm actually just going to try and get off Crunch. He actually double switches though, thinking that I'm going to switch, but that's not the case. There's no real need for me to switch right there. And I don't see why he doubled into this, because that was a really bad play. If I'd gone into Gliscor, I could have basically set up a substitute on this thing, Sword Stance, and slightly been a problem for his team, I guess. So I don't really know what he was thinking. But anyway, Terrakion comes in. I have a Gliscor, so I'm just going to switch to that. Even if he's choice banded with the Stone Edge, it's not really going to matter too much. It's going to deal about 60%, and I'm definitely going to need to switch after that. But he'll probably double switch now, to be honest, as he just goes straight for the close combat. 31%, I'm going to go ahead and say that's banded. I could be wrong, but that is most likely going to be banded. So he's going to switch now. Now, viable switch-ins, probably Rotom. So what I'm going to do, actually predicting that, is I'm going to go out to my own Rotom here, as he's going to go back out to his Rotom like I thought. So here we go. We get a nice matchup going here. Now I can Volt Switch. There's no reason for me not to go for the Volt Switch, so I am going to go for that. And I can go back out to my T-Tar. And the reason why you should always keep like your lead around, even though I've already put up Stealth Rocks and everything, the reason to keep T-Tar around is precisely for this reason. So I can just go back into it now and potentially fodder off to get a safe switch. It's like keeping fodder is always really important. So here we could go for the Hydro, but again, I don't want anything on my team to take it, so I am just going to go for the Crunch. He knows I'm most likely going to go for the Crunch, so he could do something like some switch shenanigans if he wanted to. I don't really have anything to switch to for this Pain Split either, unfortunately. Oh, he's going to die, not bad. The burn, I forgot about that. Alright, so this time I'm going to predict him to predict my switch to Gliscor. A fairly decent player should predict that, and if he doesn't, then he's not that great, but I'm just going to go for the burn. He should go for the Stone Edge here. It's a really predictable play to go into Gliscor right now, so I don't see why he wouldn't go for it. We'll see what he does. He's definitely thinking about it, but he does know that if he does over-predict, he will most likely die. He does go for the Stone Edge, and surprisingly that does take me out, so he is most definitely a choice band variant. So that means I can go into my Scizor, and I can threaten him out. Now the reason why I don't go into Keldeo or Rotom or Gliscor is because I know he will switch. Whereas if I go into Scizor, I know he's going to switch anyway, but the thing is with Scizor, I can U-turn and get the switch initiative on whatever comes in. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, because he won't want to stay in now and die off to a bullet punch, so he's definitely going to want to switch. Terrakion is one of the things that he really should be keeping around. Okay, I don't know what he was thinking right there. That was a really bad play on his part. He needs Terrakion. That was stupid. I don't know what to say about that. I am just going to... Oh my god. Bad plays put me in a bad spot. I'm just going to go for a Hydro Pump. He misses the Stone Edge and I miss the Hydro Pump. Okay. A banded Stone Edge could probably take me out from there. Yeah, it does. It does. That's incredible. Alright. That sucks. I don't see why he has a... oh no, I killed his Rotom Wash. But still... I don't see why he would leave in his Terrakion like that. I know Stone Edge does demolish my team a little bit, but what he should have done was switched his Pokemon around to get some damage off on everything, and then come in and like finished up my whole team. That would have worked out really well, but he didn't do that, and I don't know why. See, right now I would normally go into Terrakion and I'd be able to just Stone Edge, but you know, because of a misplay earlier, I end up losing my Terrakion. So let's see what his last two are that I haven't seen. It's a Landorus and a Tyranitar, I believe. So I can actually go out into Keldeo right now, and I can Hidden Power Ice. Now two of these things are going to be safe. If he switches into the T-Tar, he's going to resist that, which is going to suck. Now if he... Keldeo is the best bet against the rest of his team right now, but if he does predict carefully and correctly, then he does stand a good chance of knocking everything out. And now, unless this is a choice Scarf variant, I should still outspeed, so I'm just going to go for the Hidden Power Ice. I do outspeed it and do take it out, which is nice. Now at this point I can just switch to anything else on my team, which happens to be the Gliscor, fodder that off, then go back to Keldeo and lock myself into Secret Sword, but he quits anyway. So hope you guys enjoyed just a little kind of like battling 101, I guess, on making smart decisions. I know I led with the Terrakion and basically got it killed, but I was playing the prediction game way too early, and that's something that you guys shouldn't do. I don't know, maybe if I make mistakes, you guys should learn from them. You know, if I play correctly, which I do most of the time, then you guys can learn from that too. So if you enjoyed it, drop a comment, that'd be great. Annotations on the screen, guys. You can subscribe and join the Keldeo army, and I will catch you guys for tomorrow's video. Peace.